are challenges, there are solutions, and there are resolutions which are available to us only. So what are those challenges, and what are the resolutions that we are talking about? The first thing that I always felt is that people feel art is a hobby, and it's not a way of life. We believe totally opposite of it. Art, yes, people do come to us for learning a hobby, learning an art form. But what art gives you is a way of life if you actually imbibe it in your life and your lifestyle. You educate your kid, you educate yourself throughout your life for the first 18 to 20 years of your life. What education gives you is a means to live your life. Because you will earn, you will go out, you will earn. What art gives you is those finer skills in life which makes you a better human being, which turns your personality, which makes that difference, when we are in the corporate world, or we are out in the world where we are trying to make a mark. We always feel that, why that person has got more than me? Why an X person, I know my skill better than him. What is it that is good in him that is not good in me? This is those finer details of life. Maybe somebody is a better speaker than you. Maybe somebody has a better attitude at work than you. There are so many things that can make a difference. And it really depends on the way of life that you lead. The way of life that you lead comprises of a lot of things that you learn in a lifetime, a lot of exposure that you have towards various aspects of life, and art gives you that finer detailing that you need. When you sketch a painting, so you fill all the colors. So when you do that outer line on the painting, that defines your painting, and this is what art does to you. So instead of making art a hobby or selling art as a hobby, you should look at be an evangelist. Talk about art as how it makes a difference to your life. How is it that can change the life of yourself and your parent? I have spent more than a couple of decades in the corporate world, and I'm still doing that. And I have seen the best of people having the worst of personalities. I'm sorry to say this, because they have not worked on that aspect. We have all been told by our parents that you should study first and then everything else comes later. Yes, it does. But later on in life, when you are moving out in the corporate world, or even if you are setting up a business of your own, what makes a difference is this finer detail in life. So that's the first challenge that we all entrepreneurs, the art entrepreneurs face, is that when parents come to us and say, I like my kid likes this hobby, my kid likes to paint, or my kid likes to sing, so can you please teach them? Yes, we can teach them, but only if you are serious about the art form that we are talking about. So that's the first challenge. The second challenge that I would like to talk about is that there are no overnight learnings, my friends. So what do I mean when I say overnight learning? Overnight learning is, आज हम सारेगामा सिखाएंगे और कल वो सारेगामा पा में गाना शुरू कर देगा. It doesn't work like that. When you learn any subject, your basic learning for anybody is 15 years. You start learning from an age of 3 until the age of 20 or 21. You become a graduate, and then you do masters, and then you further do higher degrees, because you want to master that particular subject or a particular art form. But when it comes to art form, we want to learn it overnight. We feel that, there is no process to it, there is nothing. You can learn it. It's very easy to become a singer or a dancer or a theatrician or anything. It requires far more than just the learning abilities. It requires you to go that extra mile ahead in your personality, from an X point to a X plus 50 point or X plus 100 point to reach that stage. And it does take, if not 20 years, it does take a decent amount of number of years. You have to take your basic degrees, you have to then go on a further degrees, you have to then learn, say, suppose if I take an example of music. So you have to take certain basic degrees, you have to work on your voice modulations, you have to work on various things. So it's a process. It doesn't work overnight. So nothing happens overnight, and that's the point we are trying to make, that art here it's not an overnight phenomena that आज हमने admission लिया कल मेरा बच्चा Indian Idol में गाएगा. It doesn't work like that. So I guess as a community of art entrepreneurs, we should be propagating this rather than saying, oh, आपका बच्चा तो Indian Idol में हम भेज देंगे, or an X or a Y, whatever reality shows that we see these days. That is not how it is. Yes, you sell ambition. You sell ambition. But at the end of the day, you should also give them a realistic picture that there has to be a plan B. If you want to be a singer, a dancer, an actor, or you want to be a writer, or you want to be a painter, nothing comes easy, because the amount of investment you make into an art, you reap benefits accordingly. Yes, you may want to become, everybody wants to go to Bombay and become an actor and a singer and a dancer or whatever. Go to Bombay, do that, but always have a plan B. Your plan B is extremely important, because it will save you from the frustration that you have when you are struggling, or when you are trying to find your foot in the industry. So that is very important, that you should have a plan B. So the plan B could be that, okay, I will have a teaching institute, or I will work towards the personality development of kids, or to everybody else during having that art form, by the way of that art form, whether it is writing, because it kind of you take out a lot of emotions, a lot of feelings, a lot of negative thoughts also do come out when you're writing, or you're singing, or you're dancing, or any of the art forms, because it involves things beyond your physical body. It involves things like your physical body, your spiritual aspects, your own finer details of life. It takes care of. So it involves a lot of things, and not just your physical body or your brain, because art is not just brain, it is also your heart. Art teaches you how to have a balance between your heart and your brain, and this, everybody, I would say 99% people find it very difficult to achieve this balance between brain and heart. So art does teaches you that. So one is that yes, as I said, you should sell ambition. You should tell the kid that you should aspire to become that, because if there is no goal in sight, how will they work towards it? But there should be a goal in sight. The goal should also not be something that is not in sight and we are going on hitting the ball. So you should give an ambition to each and every student of yours as per the capability of the student. Not because you want to enroll that student and you want to make money. Because if you don't have it in you, you don't have it in you. If you don't have an analytical mind, you will not become an engineer. Right? So it's as simple as that. If you don't have the right voice modulation, or if you don't have the right emotion, or if you can't put the right technique into your singing, you cannot become a musician or a singer. Right? So the ambition, yes, we may like to do a lot of things, but we are made to do a certain things. So plan B could be anything, could be training, could be anything, starting your own production company, anything. But there should always be a plan B that you have to work. All artists should have a plan B, and that is the reason, because the biggest problem is that our artists are only artists and they are not commercially viable, and that is the third problem that I see in this business. Is that one is that people are not willing to invest in art because they are not able to see to differentiate milk from water. I am also selling music. There is another one down the road who's also selling music. There is another one on my back lane who's also selling music. And the cost is X into 2, X into 4. Who should I go with? As a parent, I'm very confused. It's you who have to show your quality and your differentiation in your product. The moment we start treating art as a product also, we will start creating more scientific method around it. And here I'm talking as an entrepreneur and not as an artist. If you are an art entrepreneur, you have to make your product in a scientific way, just like any other product is made. Yes, it is our passion. Yes, it is the love for art that we do this. But there has to be a method to the madness. And that is when we will be able to, come to a level wherein the industry becomes organized, wherein the pricing becomes absolutely rational and, kind of similar. We have competition, but we have healthy competition. We don't have cutthroat competition. Because what happens when an industry is very unorganized, if you compete on price in that industry, you only fall down. You compete for quality, you will do better. You compete to give that extra in your product, you will do better. It's okay, you may not have 100 students in your institute coming in, you may have 10, but those 10 will take you there, will take your name to the next level. And that is what we as art entrepreneurs should be looking at. Yeah. There is another point that I would want to make here is, as art entrepreneurs, and which is actually complementing the point that I just made. As art entrepreneurs, you should be complementing each other. Yeah, we need to grow the business together. We need to tell the parents that why is it important for them to invest into this art form with their kids. Because investment in the art form doesn't happen. We treat ourselves like a school or a tuition center. Your kid will achieve 90% marks in 10th. I will charge this much per month. Well, that is not how art works. As I said, it works on the final details. So we need to have an approach which is collaborative and supportive to each other. Because if we don't support each other, who else will? Today, artists need support. Artists are struggling big time because in the time of COVID, they don't have any events, they don't have any programs where they can go for. And how many of us are actually coming forward and genuinely doing something for the artists? Why artists are in this space, in this stage? Why do we see a lot of old film actors dying penniless? Why? Have you ever realized why does it happen? Because in our industry, we don't support each other. We don't help each other grow. We only pull down each other. And I think as an art industry, we should be the front runner. Yes, it happens in corporate also. But here we should be the front runner because we work on the final details of human beings. Then we should also treat ourselves as a better human being. And we together should come and take our artists forward and give them work and give them the right price for their art. It breaks my heart when I hear that so and so has been shortchanged. A painter's painting has been taken by an ex-gallery and not paid for, while the gallery made lakhs on the back of that painting. Really? So those are the things that one needs to really ponder upon and look at. Lastly, I would like to say on the women entrepreneurship. Yeah. We always, as women, we always say, oh, the world is biased towards us. Oh, the world is conspiring against us. Since we are women entrepreneurs, so we are being shortchanged. But have you ever thought that why it happens? Yes, it happens. It always happens. Let's accept it. So I believe that the first solution to every problem is when you accept the problem. The problem is we don't accept it. We are in the denial mode all the time. As women, we have to accept, yes, there is bias, and it will not change overnight. It will happen, but it will take its own time. It's been many years and decades and centuries that this thing has been going on, and suddenly you can't expect results. It's possible it may not happen in your lifetime also. But what is the attitude that we should have? The attitude that we should clearly have is to give. We need to give. The more we give, the more we get. I think we've forgotten our basics. We've always worked on those basics. Our parents have taught us that. But we've forgotten those basics. When you are looking at another art institute, probably promoting a platform or promoting an art form, which probably you don't do. Fine, I understand if you are teaching Kathak and there is somebody else also teaching Kathak. But there is somebody else teaching Bharatnatyam. You need to promote that. While you need to also promote somebody else doing Kathak. Because either you are too big, either you are so big that you are covering the entire country. But if you're not covering the entire country, there is always space, because art should be a part of every home and every household. And that is what I totally believe in. Because the moment art enters every household, we will be softer human beings. There will be peace. We will fight less. We will not have negative thoughts. We will be more patient, and we will be more accepting our situations and letting go. Because art also teaches you how to let go and surrender, which is a problem with a lot of us. So I believe that yes, change is there, change is coming, but change is slow. We need to be the catalysts of this change, and we need to help this change come faster than when it is, because we need to I personally feel that it's only art that can change the world. Clearly. Well, it's a very big statement to make. But the only thing I remember is when Titanic was sinking, it's the musicians who were playing till the end, and they laid their lives so that there is not much stress. The music that kept going on even when Titanic was sinking. Nobody remembers the captain of that ship. Nobody remembers the passengers of that ship. But everybody remembers the musicians of the Titanic that sank. This is the impact that you can leave as artists, as art entrepreneurs, as art influencers, and as art enthusiasts. If you don't do it, who else will? So yeah, so these are the few things that I wanted to say in today's discussion. I hope I have been making sense more than anything else, and I hope I am making sense in the way that you find it practical. Try and do it to small things, because as they say, charity begins from home. Try and do small things. Try and teach one kid at a time, and tell one parent, convert one parent into somebody who is into hobby, to somebody who imbibes art as a way of life. Yeah, it's very good to say that I want to become the Shah Rukh Khan, or I want to become the X person of tomorrow. But you have to see the years of struggle that these guys have gone through. Years of struggle. You can't even imagine. You can't even imagine how much an artist, an actor has to prepare for the role, how much they have to prepare for the role before going for it. The end product that you see in the films or on stage or in any of the platforms, that end product is a result of many years of hard work. So it's very glamorous industry. It's very good to see those things, but have a heart for also the people who are behind it, and understand with a humble mind that you need to work towards it like you would work towards any other aspect of life, like you would work towards being a mathematician or a scientist. You have to work towards it in the same way and with your whole heart. I hope you all stay safe and you guys please take care of yourself. Thank you so much.